Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XIV. In the last part, we headed out to do the last bit of the weapon project storyline. We took down Emerald and Diamond Weapon, and we had a very happy ending, I guess you can call it. Now, with all of the optional storylines done, we can finally proceed on to 5.4 and make our way towards the current ending of the story. So, without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right back on into the story. Oh, Lord. Oh, greetings, Tesla. Come looking on our friends. Rest assured, everyone is quite well. Oh, shit, I skipped it. As a matter of fact, they're just about to convene in Dawn's Respite to discuss how best to use their pent-up energy. Let's join them, shall we? Alright guys, what's the plan?
さて、皆も元の体に慣れてきたところだろうか。そろそろ我々暁の今後の動きについて話そう。
そうだな。俺は帝国の現状を把握してこようと思う。皇帝崩御からこっちきな臭い話だらけだからな。単独で潜入して帝都の様子を確かめてくるとしよう。
ええ、脅威を知るためにも潜入調査は寛容でありましょう。しかし死すら超越したあの男、ゼノスが暗躍しているとも聞いております。しかれば私もお供させていただきましょう。足手まといにはなりません。それにガンブレードのソイルに魔力を込める役回りも必要なのではありませんか。
二人の方針は決まりね。実は私もやりたいと思ってたことがあって。みんなおかえ
リーセじゃないか。
り。もう大丈夫なんだよね。また倒れちゃったりしないよね。この通りピンピンしてるわよ。
リセでは彼女がかの解放戦争を暁と共に戦い抜いたという。
あなたは？あら、リセはお初だったかしら。確かにシャーレアン出身者といっても活動分野が違えば知り合う機会も少ないものね。
暁に参加させてもらうことになったグラハティアだ。あんたの活躍は記録の上でだがよく知ってる。あえて光栄だ。
あなたが。話には聞いてるわ。アラミゴ解放軍のリセヘクストよ。
彼は唯一無二の経験と知識を持っているんだ。かの世界で共に困難と戦った頼れる仲間だよ。
そう、それ報告書には目を通したんだけど、随分複雑な事情だね。
Yeah, that's understandable.
時空を超えて第一世界に。途方もない話だけど、それならもう霊災が起こる心配もないの？
天聖組のアシエンは 今なお残っているでしょう。しかしオリジナルが消えたとなれば従前に活動できるとは思えません。依然として警戒は必要ですが、当面の危機は避けられたと考えて良いでしょ
う。よかった。それにしてもゾディアークとハイデリンが晩神だったなんて簡単には受け止められないね。
これ以上の霊災が発生しなければ世界の統合は起こらない。ゾディアークが完全な力を得ることもない。でも最古にして最強と謳われる晩神が不完全な形であれ存在し続けていることには変わらないわ。私たちは未来を継いでいく。だからこそそれが悪用されないよう見守るべきだと思うのよ。世界を救いたいという願いを込められたあの晩神をね。
ところでリセはどうしてここに？
いけない。みんなと再会できたのが嬉しくって本来の目的を忘れるところだったよ。今日は同盟軍の伝令として来たんだ。帝国の剣なんだけど、バリス帝の死後そのいとこにあたるネルワって皇族が後継者に名乗りを上げたらしいんだ。だけど反発する勢力との間で内戦状態に突入。すでに帝とガレマルドは戦闘によって崩壊状態だっていう噂もあるほどなの。それを踏まえてこれからアラミ語で会議が開かれるんだけど、暁にも参加を依頼したいんだ。
こっちもちょうど帝国に潜入しようと考えていたところだ。出発前に最新の情報を共有してもらえるなら助かる。
よし、それでは皆でアラミ語に向かうことにしよ
う。悪いんだけど私は欠席させてもらっていいかしら。どうしてもやりたいことがあって。
ああ、さっきも何か言いかけていたね。そのことかい？
ええ、実はテンパード化を解く方法を探してみたいのよ。
なるほど。ポークシーを使った積み食い化の治療、あれを応用するという話だね。
テンパードの治療って夢みたいな話じゃない。会議の方は全員が参加する必要もないんだし、その研究絶対に進めてみるべきだよ。ありがとう。よければあなたも手伝ってくれない？お堅い会議の方が好きって言うなら別にいいけど。
I like stuffy meetings. Lead on. I don't want to sit at some table with a bunch of old men and women.
ありがとう。そうこなくちゃね。
だったら俺もぜひ同行させてくれ。
He's very excited. But then again, he did say he wanted to go on an adventure with us next time.
そんなに意気込まなくても誰も反対なんてしないわよ。思う存分英雄と冒険してらっしゃい。
そういうつもりじゃ。ただ第一世界での経験が役立つかもしれないと。
I mean, he's not wrong. His knowledge could help.
では我々は会議に向かうとするよ。
All right. He did say he wanted to go on an adventure with us next time. So, hey, that time is now. When I set out to save when I set out to save Holoreg, I think Gabu was always in the back of my mind. And having proved that the light corrupted are not lost, I'm convinced that the same must be true of the tempered. Similar to those corrupted by the Sin Eaters, the ether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant. And though the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It is by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, Alize, and it warrants full investigation. If there's even a chance we can save Gabu, we have to try. But however much I'd like to race over to Limsa and set to work, there's no room for recklessness. Not when a child's life is at stake. As I'm sure Beck Lug would have reminded us, we still know little and less about the soul. Any number of things could go wrong if you don't exercise due caution. And so, before attempting anything, we should learn all we possibly can about tempering. There's just one problem. Research into the condition has long since ground to a halt, and the combined work of many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not the modern scholars, perhaps. What of their ancient counterparts? I know the Alkins took more than passing interest in the subject. And what if we seek if what we seek is to be found anywhere? It'll be sure at the Etherochemical Research Facility. Were they experimenting on primaries and their worshippers? Your worshippers, yes. Good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read the reports on Az's Law, which means we'll be needing an airship. An airship, you say? Meet me at the northern bank of Silver Tear Lake. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. Ooh. What she got for us? Alright, Totaro, what have you been up to? Hello, Ryol. What are you up to? Ooh, matches my color scheme. Was that supposed to be intended? I give you the Bonanza, the Scion's very own airship. Oh. I built her as a company project with help from our friends at the Rising Stones and named her for luck and prosperity. Totaro, this is amazing. We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship. I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of the Scion's fabled coin keeper. I'd also introduced myself as your pilot, except the train didn't quite go as well as I'd hoped. But that's alright, because we've hired this capable fellow here instead. The Bonanza is equipped with a full complement of mana cutters, by the way. Feel free to use them to get around as well. Where do you store these things? There's like no storage space on that thing. And the mana cutters are pretty big. But enough talk. It's time to fly. All aboard. Is there like some bottomless pit of storage somewhere? Like when you reach into a magician's hat and you pull it out like a boat? Does it work like that? I mean, seriously. For reference, if you remember what mana cutters look like. This is a mana cutter. Look at this. It's the size of the entire airship. Where do you store these things? Makes absolutely no sense. Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way the airship flies. Tataro's outdone herself. Anyway, well, here we are in Az's Law, and Alpha Note's report did not do the scale of this place justice. This appears to be Helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and... Yes, I believe I have my bearings. Though this is my first time on Az's Law, I do have some familiarity with the place thanks to the records in the Crystal Palace. Unless I am mistaken, the path leads to an aetheryte, beyond which there will be an information terminal. I suggest we begin our search there. Alright, it's been a while since we've had an official visit here. And here's the terminal. A moment while I search the archives for references to tempering. Ah, there we are. Iconic corruption, an overview. That sounds promising. Indeed, let's see what this report has to say. Confound it, the contents appear to have been deleted. What? No, is there anything you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid, but it may that another copy of the report exists elsewhere. The question is, where to look? It says here the report was written by someone named Owen. Is it likely that he kept a copy? I would say there's a distinct possibility. Assuming he was a researcher here, he will have had quarters on the Habisphere. We can ascertain the details of the Habisphere control. Let's return to the Bonanza and reveal ourselves to the Mana Cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. I forgot, you already have your suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste your time accompanying us back to the ship then. We'll see you at the Habisphere. I do. Not only do I have my own mana cutter, I've also got a carbuncle that can fly! I don't know where you guys store those mana cutters, but unless you're like half the size of mine, yeah. Now, if they have something like this, if they're the size of this, where is it? Oh, I don't have it, cause oh, there it is. If it's the size of this, it's possible. You can probably store these in the bottom of the ship, but if it's a full-size mana cutter, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna cut it, Chief. So I don't know where you're storing the mana cutter. So you better hope they're this size. And I see the giant airship is still here, though. Did the Empire like forget their giant airship is here, or something? They like completely forgot about it. And nope. See, where do you store these things? I want to know. I want to know. I want to know the answer to this. If the late Owen did indeed have a chamber here, then this node will be able to tell us its number. There. When I recall the layout, it should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Warning. The evacuation order is presently in effect. Entry to the Habisphere is not permitted at this time. Foiled again. In all likelihood, the order would have been imposed during the Fourth Umbrella Calamity, and I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. Energy level critical. Return to base for recharging. Well, surely there must be some way to gain access. Force, for example? Ere we resort to that, I have an idea. Were we to send a surge of energy through yonder control mechanism, it should prompt the system to restart, releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall there are known to form a point stagnant ether throughout the continent. You seem to recall? Are you honestly trying to tell me that that was in the records too? Ha! I am. Reports sent to the capital mention the lightning aspect of the ether was prone to pooling on the continent, resulting in surges that interfere with equipment. A minor detail, I grant you, but in my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there is no such thing as too much elegant knowledge. Besides, my studies help me feel connected to the source, to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind, but to finally stand here with the two of you, it is more exhilarating than I can well express. Now then, the lightning shard. If I may, I suggest we split up and search the beta quadrant. But beware the sprites. They are wont to manifest where the ether is stagnant. Now you're just showing off, which makes you think we should make a contest of this. The first return with the shard wins. What do you say? Very well. It would be my honor to come third. Your honor to come third? Guys, low expectations. But I have lightning shards though in my pocket. I've got precisely 48 of them. Can't they have those? All right. Yoink. Bravo, that was quite a show adventure. While the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slipped my mind. What's going on? Who's this? I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations, lightning shard is yours. Hello? What, no dramatic entrance? You've changed. Very funny. Now let's get back to work. You remember that? About a fence, I was caught up in the moment. I was talking about, he was talking about, with, Emmett Silk. I was caught up in the moment. It is every day you meet an honest to God's hero, after all. Well, the contest continues, so you'd better hurry back. Ah, but one last thing. What's up, buddy? Thank you, Cecila, for bringing me here. Alright. It appears Azzy had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard? I mean, you could have won, but you chose to, you know, try to be dramatic. What is it that makes you so better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? That's a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we both learned a great deal from Cecila, and not only about the secrets of adventuring, but come, we should attend to our mission. Excellent. The system responded exactly as intended, and we now have access to the Habisphere. Only one obstacle remains, the security systems within. Should they be triggered, they could make life rather difficult for us. In light of which, pray leave the rest to me. If I'm right, my royal blood should allow me to venture in unmolested. In theory. Assuming this place works with the Crystal Tower, yes. But if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise us that you'll get out at the first sign of trouble. I promise. Wish me luck. Alright. Now we're stuck here shooting the breeze. How's the work going? Same as ever? Well, nothing for it but to sit tight. Ooh, a little bit of lag. I'm sure this Owen fellow was very learned, but iconic corruption and overview sounds like a studying thesis. We all had to write one. Lest you wonder, mine was about the comeback applications of ether. I'm nothing if not practical. Alphinaud was more philosophical, of course. Political, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. A controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Charlene's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star. It's kind of funny how they're going up over this. Especially what's happening in 5.55. Meetings? Ew, that doesn't sound very fun at all. That sounds very boring, actually. He asserted... Oh, wait, I already read that. In direct opposition to the country's cherished policy of non-intervention. Being a leader and member of the Forum, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphinaud was utterly convinced of his views and would cheerfully argue to death with anyone who saw things differently. By which I mean the roads were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little more open-minded, but deep down he still holds fast to that one belief, and I admired him for it. I should have liked to meet the young Alphinaud. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the Algan civilizations as depicted in folklore. He came back with a gift! Oh, you're back. I didn't know you intended to study him. I didn't. The thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the Students of Baldestine convinced me to write one with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tomes. Though I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time, I will admit it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved. But enough of that. Is this the fruit of your foray? Yes, Owen's archive node. It was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survives, it would be stored on this device. Shall we find out? Initializing. Scanning for registered user. User not found. To proceed as a guest, please complete biometric authentication. Verifying. Authentication complete. Guest identified as member of the royal family. I'm your most humble service, your highness. It never ceases to amuse me. Tis but a pity the effect will not last forever. Doga and Unai said as much when they granted me this gift, but until such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. My god. Search archive for iconic corruption. Searching. One item found. Iconic corruption and overview. The record is locked by the author. Please say password. Well, go on then, your highness. Tell the nice node the password. Right, let's see. Glory be to Alag. Nope. Long live Emperor Zonde. Nope. Password incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Come now, passwords are invariably short and simple. For instance... Password. The notion the password could be something so name would be laughable, not dangerously stupid. Oh, furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. What did this thing just call me? Wild Rose? Crossword incorrect. Again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the presence of His Highness will not be tolerated. Alright, that's it. I say we dismantle it and then extract what we need. Now, let's not be too hasty. A single misstep when we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax Machina into cooperating, it's them. Come, let us bring the note back to the Rising Stones. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's calling me. I should probably mention that I've yet to meet Sid since waking up. Rambrose did send word to the Ironworks, but it appears our friend has been afield on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you, my proposal to seek his help is no pretext. However much I might look forward to seeing him again, him and everyone. But come, let's be on our way. All right. Look at him, all but running. How sweet. But still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? Alright. I guess I can cut at least 10 minutes out. Back to the Rising Stones. Wonderful news, says the Tatar contact is set on our behalf and he is on his way here even as we speak. All the way, I would sure very much like to hear what transpired at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Cryo? As you know, the meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to the recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Delman allies, the War of Succession rages on and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, Imperial legions in the provinces have begun to move independently of the motherland. The greatest concern to us is the third, a legion aligned with Lord Nerva. It appears they have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. I have no idea who that is, but that sounds not good. Brutus. Aren't they the ones who took in Yatsu and Asahi? This bodes well. Zenos' movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Thancred or Yajiro will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. Until such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict, so thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the Beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent, this is not a problem that easily solved. The Minsons, in particular, struggled in their efforts, and Alfno and Y'shtola have been called upon to aid them. So long as we are dealing with the Temper, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop a treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. And on that cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable in Dawn's respite? I'll show Sidon as soon as he arrives. Alright. I mean, what's wrong with out here? I mean, there's plenty of comfy spots to sit around here. Oh, this place actually has lighting now. I guess I had headline before. Hello, Sid. It's been a while since I've seen you officially. Sid! Forgive us for not coming to see you sooner, my friend. As you may have heard, we have had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Oh, I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. Huh, I still struggle with that idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seem exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself had already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you wanted my help with something? What is it? I need you to hack into this floating orb behind me. Well, a treatment for tempering. And for the next step, you need to find the password to this Allegan's report. Just so, with nary a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly, and thus we turn to you. Well, I'd love to say that we could help you, so I will. Once suitably if configured, a Magitek terminal should make short work of identifying the password. I knew I could rely on you. Now, anticipating that might be of use, I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambros. It contains an Allegan dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to a terminal and set it to work right away. Where are we gonna get a terminal at? You don't exactly have terminals lying around here. I guess we do. Where did you whip that out of? And looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom. That was that easy, huh? Huh, short and simple, just as I said. But did you care to do the honors, your highness? I would, my lady. Alright, let's see if this works. Node. Open the report entitled Iconic Corruption and Overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted. Opening report. Ooh. Look at this guy. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which icons corrupt and bind men to their will. This guy's got fancy earrings. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of the ether of the soul. Said ether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than another. But when a subject is exposed to the ether of an icon, this changes, their soul taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, exposure to the ether of the fiend, Sephiroth, would cause a subject's ether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth aspected magics, as well as the preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. Oh. The changes undergone by the subject are not only solely attributable to the elemental alignment, however. Further testing has determined that the subject's soul becomes umbrally charged or stagnant during the process. The stagnation of the soul is the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the icon, the thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. In this manner do the corrupted become worshippers of the icon. Their prayers serve to further empower the entity. Having discerned the mechanism of iconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants, good men and women all, fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with the protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for the corruption, but it was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Amon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested their decision, and for my impertinence, I have been stripped of rank and title and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I would record it in the hope that one day someone will undertake to do with that which I could not, and find a cure for the victims of iconic corruption. End recording. Alright, got a lesson on tempering. So not even the Algans were able to find a cure, or rather, were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Amon's decision. More importantly, this confirms that stagnation of the soul is indeed the problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True, yet were we simply to reanimate a tempered soul, I fear it would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may very well intensify it. No, we would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold of the subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its thrall. So if we can make them remember who they are. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. By adapting the technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation, that is, limit the effects to only those memories that existed prior to tempering. Through thus restoring the sense of self, we could theoretically drown out the incitement of false faith, which had come to dominate the individual's thoughts. I see. The theory seems sound, and our experience treating the light corrupted would help us identify suitable memories of reanimation. But are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so while trying to bring us home culminated in literal bloodletting. They did, you were right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate the mechanism, and I can see that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. Then perhaps it's better that we consider another approach. Their doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have reason to be confident. You see, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics, which leads me to believe it may be capable of performing simulations of the transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it'll be no different than how we identified the password. But it'll take more calculating power. A lot more. I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? To keep people from prying eyes, of course. Why else? Wait. A password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure, and a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person with minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective. I believe their motto was freedom through technology or some such. View 2. Round up as many Magitech terminals as you can find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. Things are about to get very busy. Luckily we have you to help, eh? Alright. Right, while Grahati and I configure the terminals, I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely, cerulean to fuel the terminals and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have of both, the better. Leave the ice shards to me. I'll round up some adventurers and go on a gathering spree. In that case, I'll trust Cessa and Alize with the ceruleum. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Take them to the Skysteel manufacturing in Ishgard and the ceruleum processing plant in Thanalin. The people there will give you what you need. Yours is a well-known face in the Holy See, I believe. If it's all the same to you, I'll head to Thanalin. Alright. God, we haven't made an official visit to Ishgard in a while either. We're going to all kinds of familiar places. All right. You stand in the Skysteel manufactory. What is it you require? So, you're after ceruleum. In that case, please present the note to our engineer on the airship landing. He shall be glad to assist you. Alright. The Astrologium. I probably botched that word up. Ceruleum? You've come to the right man. Fair warning though, the price has shot up on account of the uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you got the coin. I got a promissory note. Does this work? Well now, a promissory note from the Ironworks. Don't see many of these. Not that's a problem. It's as good as gold to me. Nice. No, look who it is.
6カ国会議では会えなかったが、まさかここで君と再会できるとはな。すでに聞いているかもしれないが、各名士たちはそれぞれ新たな蛮神対策に乗り出しているのだ。我がイシュガルドもバヌバヌ族の長老をお招きして今後の対応を話し合うところだよ。帝国との戦いも最終局面を迎えようとしている今、エスティニアンの力も借りたいところだが、相変わらず根なし草でなかなか捕まらない。 石の家には少し前に顔を出したのだろう。次に会うことがあればよろしく伝えておいてくれ。ところで君はどういった要件でコートに？なるほど、テンパード化の治療。暁の考えることは途方もないな。万身対策の大きな助けにもなるだろう。となれば急ぎ気工房と掛け合ってなるべく多くの精輪水を用立てるとしよう。輸送にはイシュガルドの飛空艇を使うといい。我々もできることを全力でやる。君たちに最大限の助力をさせてくれ。
Nice. That was an easy task. All right. What now? Ooh, look at all this. They found all this shit. Where the hell did they pull all this out of? She looks worn out.
Ah, 疲れた。精輪水のバレルがあんなに重いなんて。あなたは人に運んでもらったみたいね。私も変な意地張らないで、そうすればよかったわ。
I mean, Saruni is like oil, right? I mean, yeah, it's heavy. Especially when it's in barrels.
二人ともお疲れさん。しかし私た手形以上の量があるようだが。そうか、アイメリク卿が助かるぜ。
こっちも初期設定は無事に終わってる。術式やら何やら大変ではあったが、頼もしい助っ人が来てくれたからな。
Uh-oh, is that who I think it is? It's Narrow.
久しぶりだな。テンパードの治療なんぞに興味はないが、アラグの連中ですらできなかったことをやるんだろう。
He's finally part of the actual story.
だったら俺がいなくちゃ始まらない。そうだろう、ガーロンド。それが請求書だけ置いてとんずらしたやつのセリフか。苦労して捕まえたんだ。うちの社員として給料分以上に働いてもらうぞ。ま、他にも付き合ってやる理由はある。どこぞの未来では天才技術者たちが次元と時空を超える理論を確立したとか。功績の9割は俺様、1割がガーロンドってとこだろ。悪いが俺は未来の自分にだって負けるつもりはないんでね。 この研究も踏み台にさせてもらう。なら俺は1割だけ、だがお前一人じゃたどり着けない1割を担うとしよう。はっ、勝手に言ってろ。さて、準備も無事に終わったことだ。シミュレーションを開始するぞ。
I still want his sunglasses.
.問題なく始まったな。あとはこいつが術式を見つけるまで待つだけだ。お前はゆっくりしといてくれ。
Everyone's falling asleep. That doesn't sound good.
まずい。負荷がかかりすぎたか。
親方、このままじゃ壊れちまうっす。
くそ、止めるしかないか。
待ってくれ。もう少し、あと少しで術式が導き出せそうなんだ。
おっと、こりゃダメかもな。
もうすぐ頼む。来た。
Well, let's hope you were able to make sense of it, or the few seconds that you had glimpsed at it.
大丈夫。消える前に術式は覚えた。これなら理論上はいけるはず。テンパード化の治療がきっとできる。
Nice. Photographic memory. Wish I had that.
ダメっす。全部お釈迦になっちまったっす。
悪い。俺が止めるなって言ったから。
なーに、構わないさ。時空超越理論には遠く及ばないが、テンパードの治療はきっとこの先の世界を変えるだろう。お前たちが紡ぐ新たな未来に貢献できたんだ。それに比べれば魔導端末なんて安いもんだぜ。
ありがとう。
さて、俺たちが協力できるのはここまでだ。あとはお前たちに任せたぞ。
Alright. So, what do we gotta do now? Are we in time? I can go for a little bit longer. Forget us not. At long last, we have our cure. In theory, at any rate, we cannot be certain until such time as we put it to proof. Put it to the proof, but I'm quietly confident. Well, if we were to test it on someone, then I suggest Kaboo. His symptoms are relatively mild. It'll be fine, I'm sure of it. Yes, as long as we exercise due caution, it'll be fine. without further ado, then let's make for Limsa. We've kept waiting long enough. Let's see if this works. Well, this is the moment of truth. I'll have our house, our house. I'll have our host bring Gabuwa to us at once. Let's see if this works.
お待たせいたしました。
ガブ、お利口にしてた？
状況は相変わらずです。暴れることはないのですが、喋ることもなく、ただ静かにじっとしています。
大丈夫よ。きっと直してあげるからね。
いやあ、ここで会うとは奇遇だね。
二人とも晩神対策の方を手伝ってるって聞いたけど、もう済んだの？
リムサロミンサの会議に参加したのだけれど、出席するはずの海賊の一部が現れなくて、結局会議はお開きになったわ。
仕方なく石の家に戻ろうとしていた矢先、君たちを見かけたというわけさ。ガブに会いに来ているということは、もしかして例の治療のめどが立ったのかい？魔導端末による演算で術式の改変案を割り出すか。なかなかに興味深いね。
不活性になっている魂をポークシーで活性化しつつ、記憶継承術を改変した術式で歪められた信仰心を戻す。確かにエーテル学的にも理にかなっているわ。でも魂の活性化を先行させれば信仰心まで強めてしまう。かといって不活性化した自我のない状態では新たな術式の効果も薄くなるはず。これらは同時に行う必要があるのではなくて？
さすがは魔女マトウヤ。その通りだ。だから新たな術式をポークシーに込めようと思う。ソウルサイフォンを改造した時の方法論を応用するわけさ。
確かに。そうすればアンジェロは2つの魔法を同時に発動できるようになるわ。ラハがいちいち術を唱える必要もなくなるし、効率的よね。
ああ。ただ難点がないわけでもない。新たな術式をポークシーに固定するためにはかなりの魔力が必要なんだ。前の俺ならクリスタルタワーから膨大な魔力を得られたが、今は良くて人並みだからな。誰かに補助してもらいたい。
そういうことなら私とヤシトラに任せてくれ。
ええ、久々の活動だっていうのに、やったことといえば会議くらいだもの。魔力なら有り余っているわ。
ありがとな。では始めるぞ。 十分だ。トークシーに術式を刻む。これで固定できたはずだ。本当にたくさんの魔力がいるんだね。かのアラグ文明でさえやれなかったことを成し遂げようとしてるわけだからな。簡単にとはいかないさ。アリゼ、次はそっちの番だ。実際の治療には今の魔法以上に時間も手間もかかる。集中できるように軍令部の部屋を借りよう。付き添いは俺が。あんたは信じて待っててやってくれ。それが一番力になるだろうからさ。
必ずカブを救ってみせるわ。じゃあ行ってくる。
では我々はあちらで待機するとしよう。アリゼたちを信じて朗報を待つんだ。
Alright. Well, this seems like a good spot as they need to have a rest.
テンパードの治療法確立は長年万身問題を抱えていたエオルゼアにとって新たな突破口となるだろう。正直に言って私は積み食いかもテンパードかも治療の可能性はないと見て受け入れるしかないと考えていた。諦めることが現実的な大人の思考だとすら思っていたのさ。しかしアリゼは決して諦めずハルリクの治療を成功させ、そして今回も我が妹ながら感服させられたよ。彼女の諦めの悪さ、いや厳しい現実に抗う姿勢を私も見習わないといけないね。
Well, if she's in any consolation, she's not gonna work. I mean, yeah, she said it herself.
なるほど、あの論文の話をしたのか。それは少々いたたまれないな。でもアリゼが少しでも認めてくれたのなら嬉しいよ。私は彼女を怒らせてばかりの兄だからね。
Ah. She looks very drained.
大丈夫かい、アリゼ。
治療はどうだったの？
アルフィーノ、
He-
みんな一緒で嬉しい。
He's back to normal.
ガブ、君は。
僕あれからずっとタイタンサーマのことで頭いっぱいだったの。でもお父さんとお母さんのことも忘れなかったよ。だからタイタンサーマのこと考えないようにしたよ。ずっとアリーゼやみんなのこといっぱいいっぱい思い出してた
の。アリゼやあんたたちの思いはしっかり届いてたんだよ。それがガブを踏みとどまらせたんだ。
偉かったね、ガブ。アリーゼも偉いよ。僕の仲間たちもみんな直せる？もちろんよ。これからどんどんみんなを直してあげるからね。
それにあたってみんなにも伝えておきたいことがある。テンパードの治療には膨大な魔力が必要なんだ。ガブはアリゼ一人で治せたが、症状が重ければこんなものじゃ済まないだろう。加えて理論上この術で治せるのは魂の変容だけだ。エーテル放射を重ねられ肉体にまで変異が及んでいる場合は残念ながら治せない。つまり誰も彼も救えるような万能な術じゃないんだ。
それでもガブの治療が成功したことは大きな一歩だわ。次は治療法を広めていく道筋をつけましょう。
そうなると次なる課題は治療用のポークシーをどうやって量産するかだね。第一世界で作られたものだが原初世界でも作れるのだろうか。
使い魔のことだったら頼れる人は一人よ。マトウヤに相談しましょう。私じゃなくて本物にね。
Wow.
ガブは国家団のところに戻っていてね。それじゃあまた会いましょう。アリーゼありがとう。
I swear the voice is so unfitting for that for Gaboo. I mean, oh man. Actually, I'm going to end it here. This is a good place to stop. So when we come back, we will head off to see our old crony, and she was sheltered away in a cave, to see if we can't make ourselves an army of porksies. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you then. Later.